Hey everyone, Shunka here with another seasonal upcoming anime video, this time for summer 2018. Maybe not as exciting as the spring season, but we are seeing more new series this time around, as opposed to many recurring series from previous seasons. With that short intro out of the way, let's get started. Probably what everyone is most anticipating for this summer is Attack on Titan Season 3. This third season will be a direct continuation to Season 2 and will yet again center around Eren, Mikasa, and group trying to uncover the mysteries behind the origins of the Titans in order to attain salvation for humanity. New secrets will be revealed as unforeseen betrayals bring up more questions to be answered. And made by which studio, this airs on July 23rd. Overlord 3, the sequel to Overlord 2. I'm actually really looking forward to this one more than Attack on Titan, honestly. This series is just amazing, as it presents an isekai genre wonderfully and uniquely with a large cast of characters that are very much likable. It will probably be a one-core 12-episode series. And made by Madhouse, this airs on July 10th. Future Card Shin Buddy Fight is just a new season of Future Card Buddy Fight. They have these pretty much every season, so not much else to say from here. And made by Oriental Magic and Zebek, this aired on June 2nd. FLCL Progressive, a sequel to the series that many overseas fans have loved since its release that has garnered much attention and popularity to the point that we are finally getting a new anime for FLCL. In the new season, many years have passed since Naota and Haruko shared their adventure together. Meanwhile, the war between two entities rages across the galaxy. A new character is introduced named Hiromi, a young teenage girl who believes there is nothing amazing to expect from her average life. Until one day when a new teacher named Haruko arrives at her school. And made by Production IG, this aired on June 3rd. Island. Urashima, an island far from the mainland. The people who live there lead carefree lives, but 5 years ago, the island's three great families suffered a series of misfortunes and succumbed to suspicion. The people of the island cut off all contact with the mainland and began a slow decline. The key to saving the island lies in three girls who belong to the three families, but they are bound by old traditions and are conflicted. On the island, a lone man washes ashore. The man claims to be from the future, and he begins a solitary struggle to change the island's fate. And made by FLCL, this airs on July 1st. Hanebado. The story begins with Kentaro Tajibana, the Batman coach of Kitakomachi High School's Batman team. He is worried because the team has so few members that it cannot even enter competitions. But then he spots a student named Ayano Hanesaki, easily climbing a large tree on the school grounds and see much potential in her. Little does Tajibana know that Ayano actually hates Batman. And made by Liden Films, this airs on July 2nd. One Room Season 2. This will be the sequel to the first and pretty much the same type of story. The series tells the story of your relationships with your neighbor, younger sister, and childhood friend and the stuff that happens in your room with them. A completely pure slice of life short series in an odd first-person perspective. The studio Zero G will be taking over from where Typhoon Graphics left off from the first season. This series airs on July 3rd. Yamano Susume third season will be a sequel to the second season of the same name. The anime is about the story of childhood friends Aoi, a girl who prefers staying inside and also has a fear of heights, and Hinata, a girl who loves mountains. The two decide to climb a mountain in order to once again see the morning sun from its peak as they did when they were young. The anime will have 13 50-minute episodes about young girls climbing mountains. And made by 8-bit, this airs on July 3rd. Cinderella Girls Gekijou Season 3. This third season, like the previous seasons, will be a short series about how the idols from Idolmaster spend their days off. And made by Gathering, this airs on July 3rd. Senjushi. The story takes place at the subsequent era after the whole world was devastated by the nuclear war. Under the strong rule by the World Empire, people are all suppressed and deprived of their own lives. A resistance team secretly keeps fighting to break the suppression. And made by TMS Entertainment, this airs on July 3rd. Backstreet Girls. A group of 3 Yakuza failed their boss for the last time. After messing up an important job, the boss gave them 2 choices. They can either honorably commit suicide or go to Thailand to get a sex reassignment surgery in order to become female models. Yeah, I'm not going to lie, this is going to be pretty weird. Maybe even the weirdest series this season. And made by JC Stat, this airs on July 4th. Chukan Kanudo Tonagawa. This series is a spin-off of the Kaiji series. The president of the Tei Corporation is getting bored with his life and orders Tanagawa to organize a so-called game of death, as it is his and his subordinates' job to keep the president in a good mood. And made by Madhouse, this airs on July 4th. Sunahara So no Kanunin-san. Shina-Aki is constantly being treated like a girl due to his feminine looks, so he decides to move to Tokyo to attend middle school in an attempt to change himself. However, what awaits him in his new home, Sunahara So, is a kind-hearted caretaker, Sunohara Ayaka, along with the 3 female members of Aki's new middle school's student council, and so begins Aki's new life in Tokyo, living with 4 girls. And made by Silverlink, this airs on July 5th. Isekai Mao to Shokan Shoujo no Dore Majutsu. In the MMORPG Cross Reverie, Sakamoto Takuma is so powerful that he is called the Demon Lord by other players. One day he is summoned to another world but with the same appearance he had in the game. There he meets 2 girls who both proclaim themselves to be his summoner. They tried to perform an enslavement ritual to turn him into their summon, but that's when Takuma's passive ability, Magic Reflection, activates. Instead, it is the girls who become enslaved. And made by Ajiado, this airs on July 5th. Yume Okoku to Nemireru Hyakuni no Oji-sama. The anime takes place in the dream world, where dreams give people the power to live. But the world is threatened by dream-eating beings known as Yumekui. In order to save the world, princes from all kingdoms must join their power. And made by Project Number 9, this airs on July 5th. Bang Dream, Garuba Pico is a mini anime series featuring the girls from Girls Band Party, and made by Sanzigen and DMM Futureworks. This airs on July 5th. Banana Fish. Nature made Ash Lynx, beautiful and a cold, ruthless killer. Ash, now at the rebellious age of 17, forsakes the kingdom held by the devil who raised him. But the hideous secret that drove Ash's older brother mad in Vietnam has fallen into the wrong hands. And met by Mappa, this airs on July 6th. Shichisei no Subaru. In the popular MMORPG world Union, there existed a legendary party named Subaru. This party, made up of a group of childhood friends and elementary schoolers, exceeded the limits of the game. However, due to an incident which resulted in a death, Union ended its service and the group of childhood friends went separate ways. 6 years later, high schooler Haruto logged into the new game Reunion and reunited with a single girl. That single girl is Asahi, one of the old Subaru party members, and who is also one of his childhood friends who should have died 6 years ago. And by Daruka, this airs on July 6th. Satsuriku no Tenshi. 13-year-old Rachel awakens to find herself trapped in the basement of an abandoned building. Without any memories or even a clue as to where she could be, she wanders the building, lost and dizzy. In her search, she comes across a man covered in bandages. He introduces himself as Zack, and he wields a Grim Reaper-like sickle. And met by JC Stat, this airs on July 6th. Haruka no Receive. The story centers on Haruka, a girl who has a complex about how she is very tall, and Kanata, who is about to give up beach volleyball because she is too short. With Haruka's height and Kanata's experience, the two girls form a pair to play beach volleyball in Okinawa. And made by C2C, this airs on July 6th. Chio-chan no Tsukakuro. This is a story of a nerdy bookworm girl on her way to school, and yes, that's the entire premise, as she's not getting to school anytime soon. Taking her usual route to school, it becomes an increasingly unusual adventure, and all the more ridiculous as it carries on. And made by Diomedia, this airs on July 6th. Ongaku Shoujo. Hanako Yamadaki encounters the obscure, low-selling 11-member C-list idol unit Ongaku Shoujo. Their producer Ikehashi thinks the unit needs a new member. Together, Ongaku Shoujo and Hanako strive for the top of the music world. And made by Studio Dean, this airs on July 6th. Yami Shibai Season 6. Like the previous 5 seasons, and I probably said this at least 5 times before this, Yami Shibai is a picture story style of animation whose motive is surrounded and based off rumors and urban legends throughout the history of Japan. And met by Iruka, this airs on July 7th. Zoids Wild is a new Zoids TV anime series. No synopsis revealed as of yet, animated by Orange Magic, this airs on July 7th. Oshiete Feriru Maho no Pendulum will be a sequel to Maho no Kagami, and made by Studio Dean, this airs on July 7th. Hataraku Saibo. This is a story about you, a tale about the inside of your body. That sounded really suggestive for some reason. According to a new study, the human body consists of approximately 37 trillion cells. These cells are hard at work every day within a world that is your body. From the oxygen-carrying red blood cells to the bacteria-fighting white blood cells, get to know the unseen heroes in the drama that unfolds inside of you. That sounded weirder than I thought. And met by David Production, this airs on July 8th. Hyakune no Haoto Seiyaku no Valkyria. Yuto's soul gets more than he bargained for when he joins his childhood friend Mitsuki Shimoya in testing out an urban legend. When he uses his phone to take a picture of himself with the local shrine's divine mirror, he is taken into another world heavily similar to the lore of the old Norse myths. And made by EMT Squared, this airs on July 8th. Asobi Asubase. Hanako, an athletically proficient yet thick-headed student with a weird fashion sense, plays a game with the American transfer student Olivia. However, their vigor irritated their classmate Akatsuki, who dislikes playing games since she has always been teased by her sister for being bad at them. With a turn of events, it was found out that Hanako is actually terrible at English. Thus, she asked her foreign classmate Olivia to help her, but Olivia, who is only born and raised in Japan with foreign parents, can't actually speak English at all. And made by Daruka, this airs on July 8th. Planet Whiff. Soya Kuroi lives a peaceful life despite having no memories of his past. But one day, his city is suddenly attacked by a giant machine known as a nebula weapon. Along with the cat-like sensei and the gothic Lolita girl Ginko, he is dragged into the fight, but he ends up the enemy of 7 heroes who are working to protect the city. And made by JC Staff, this airs on July 8th. Gintama Chidogane no Tamashihan 2 is the 2nd season of the final arc of the Gintama anime series. And made by Bandai Namco Pictures, this airs on July 9th. Ani ni Tsukeru Kusuri wa Nai 2 is the 2nd season of the anime series of the same name. For those who haven't watched the first, the story centers on a violent girl who strikes her idiot older brother. This story also focuses on sibling love, not the way you're thinking of it, love in general, and food. And made by Fanworks and Imagineer, this airs on July 9th. Agu Tensai Ningyo. The series is about a missing genius whose mysterious disappearance becomes a shady secret among the successful members of society. And made by Studio Dean, this airs on July 10th. Phantom in the Twilight. The story takes place in London at Cafe Forbidden, a mysterious cafe that only opens at night. The protagonist is a girl who is in London to study abroad. She meets the handsome men who work this place where the guardians of the boundary between the human and shadow world gather. And made by Liden Films, this airs on July 10th. Jashin-chan Dropkick. This series is a violent slapstick comedy by a delusional gothic Lolita named Yurin, who summons a demon girl of the tail of a cobra named Jashin-chan. They'll have to live together until Yurin finds a way to send Jashin-chan back to hell, or until Jashin-chan kills her. And made by Nomad, this airs on July 10th. Kyoto Teramachi Sanjo no Homes. There's an antique shop in Kyoto's Teramachi Sanjo shopping district. High school girl Mashido Aoi unexpectedly runs into Yagashira Kiyotaka, the son of the shop's owner, and ends up working part-time at the shop. Kiyotaka is called to Holmes at Teramachi Sanjo, and he and Aoi solve odd cases brought to them by various clients. And made by 7, this airs on July 10th. Angorumoa Genko Kasenki. The scary Great King comes from the other side of the sea. The big incident Genko that shook medieval Japan is being drawn in an original way in this historical anime long at the beginning of the samurai. And made by Nash, this airs on July 11th. Shinya Tensei Bakabone. This series is the franchise's first television anime in 18 years. The original family comedy manga centers on an idiotic boy and his father. And made by Piero Plus, this airs on July 11th. Free died to the future. Haruka, who is attending college in Tokyo, meets Asahi again and reawakens his memories from his middle school years, including those of Ikuya. Makoto is working toward a new dream while he is in Tokyo together with Haruka. And Rin has an unexpected meeting in Sydney, and met by Kyoto Animation and Animation DO. This airs on July 12th. Tendro, Sirius the Jaeger. A strange group of people carrying musical instrument cases landed on Tokyo Station. They are called the Jaegers, who came to hunt vampires. Amongst them there stood a young man with striking serenity and unusual aura. His name is Yuli, a werewolf whose home village was destroyed by vampires. Yuli and the Jaegers engage in deadly battle over a mysterious holy ark only known as the Ark of Sirius, and made by PA Works. This airs on July 12th. Shoujo Kageki Review Starlight. Starlight is a song and dance troupe loved throughout the world. Karen and Hikari make a promise with each other when they were young that one day they'll stand out on that stage together. Time passes and now the girls are 16 years old. Karen is very enthusiastic about the lessons she takes every day, holding her promise close to her heart. Hikari, however, has transferred schools and is now away from Karen. But little do they know that they are destined to meet again. And made by Kinema Citrus, this airs on July 13th. High Score Girl. The year is 1911 and 6th grader Yaguchi Haruo only has video games to live for. He's not popular in school and he's neither handsome, funny, nice, or even friendly. The only thing he has going for him is that he is good at video games. One day at the local arcade he meets Ona Akira, a fellow classmate, but unlike him, she's popular, smart, pretty, and a rich girl that absolutely destroys him at Street Fighter 2. Not only does he lose to her 30 times in a row, but he can't beat her at any game. And made by JC Staff, this airs on July 14th. Lord of Vermilion, Gurren no O. Set in Tokyo, it's January 29th, 2030. High-frequency resonance is observed in the vicinity of Tokyo, and a red fog rolls into the city. Those who hear the sound, humans and animals alike, pass out losing consciousness. However, 6 days later, after the incident, people wake up as if nothing happened and everything seemingly returns to normal. Meanwhile, young people start to become aware of themselves and release their power hidden in their blood, discovering themselves as vessels of wisdom blood. Animated by Azreed and Tier Studio, this airs on July 14th. Happy Sugar Life. This is a shivering, pure love psycho horror story of a girl named Sato Matsuzaka who has someone she likes. She experiences a sweet feeling when she sleeps with her and thought it must be love. Everything will be forgiven as long as she protects this feeling, even if she tricks people, commits crimes, steals, or even kills. Or at least that's her mindset. Animated by Ezola, this airs on July 14th. Grand Blue. A new life begins for Kitahara Iori as he begins his college career near the ocean in Izu City. He is full of excitement for his new life, as he will be moving into his uncle's diving store, Grand Blue. There he finds the beautiful ocean, beautiful woman, and guys that love diving and alcohol. And met by Zero G, this airs on July 14th. Yuragi-san no Yuna-san. Homeless and haunted by ghosts, high schooler Kogarashi thinks his luck has finally turned when he finds Yuragi-so, a cheap boarding house that was formerly a hot springs inn, now full of super sexy, scantily cladded female tenants. If Kogarashi can use his spirit abilities to banish the ghost that haunts the inn, he can live there rent-free. But when the ghost, a beautiful teenage girl named Yuna, appears before him, Kogarashi takes pity on her, and is suddenly not so sure about the exorcism. Animated by Zebek, this airs on July 14th. Tsukumogami Kashimasu. The series is set during the Edo period, in the Fukugawa ward of Old Edo. Because the area is prone to fire and flooding, residents rent everyday items like pots, futons, and clothing from shops instead of purchasing them, so as not to impede them when they flee. Obeni and Seiji, an older sister and younger brother, run one such rental shop called Izumoya. However, mixed in with their inventory are Tsukumogami, objects that have turned into spirits after 100 years of existence. The siblings sometimes lend these sentient items to customers. And made by Telecom Animation Film, this airs on July 23rd. Muhyo to Ryoji no Mahoritsu Sodan Jimusho. Muhyo and Ryoji are experts in magic law, and they specialize in serving justice to evil spirits when they are causing people trouble. And made by Studio Dean, this airs on August 3rd. Lastly for the series is Fate Extra Last Encore, Iru Steadiest Tendosetsu, which is a direct sequel to the first season of Fate Extra Last Encore. This is actually a 2-hour special, but since it's part of the series, I'll just leave it here. This special will be animated by Shaft and starts airing on July 29th. This concludes the series for this season. Next we'll be moving on to the movies. To start off with the movies, Peacemaker Kurogane Part 1, Omomichi. Although traumatized by witnessing the murder of his parents by one of the Choshu, Ichimura Tetsunosuke's thirst for revenge leads him to desire strength. At the age of 15, Tetsunosuke approached the Shinsengumi, wanting to become one of its members. However, Tetsunosuke lacked the skill, mind, and will to emotionlessly cut down whoever threatened peace and the Shinsengumi. And made by White Fox, this premiered on June 2nd. Dante ni Wadao Gaiden, Shukume Soto no Fuma, a series of side stories of the Dante ni Wadao series. Some of the stories takes place before and some after the end of the main series, and made by which studio this premiered on June 9th. Soreike Anpanman, Kakeyake Kurun to Inochi no Hoshi. The film story begins in Anpanman world, where everybody is bustling around getting ready for the annual Star Festival. On that day, an egg emerges from Bakinman's garage box, and when it hatches, a mysterious boy named Kurun emerges from within. One day, black stars begin raining down. Anpanman thinks that something suspicious might be occurring at the Star of Life, and he heads there. Animated by TMS Entertainment, this premiered on June 30th. K 7 Stories Episode 1 RB Blaze and K 7 Stories Episode 2 Side Blue Tenra no Gotoku are the first and second of the 6-episode theatrical anime project adapted from the novels and manga. Animated by Gohans, the first episode premieres on July 7th and the second episode on August 4th. Pokemon movie Minna no Monogatari, or Everyone's Story. The story is set during the annual Wind Festival at Frost City, which is blessed from the wind of the legendary Pokemon Lugia. And made by the mainstay studio for Pokemon, Oriental Light and Magic alongside Wood Studio, this film premieres on July 13th. Mirai no Mirai. The film's story centers around a family living in a small house in an obscure corner of a certain city. In particular, it is by a family-spoiled 4-year-old boy named Kunchan. When Kunchan gets a little sister named Mirai, he feels that his new sister stole his parents' love from him, and is overwhelmed by many experiences he undergoes for the first time in his life. In the midst of it all, he meets an older version of Mirai, who has come from the future. And made by Studio Chizu, this premieres on July 20th. Oshieto Tabisuru Otoko will be an anime adaptation of the short story of the same name by Arthur Rampo Edogawa. It will run in 3 museums as part of an exhibit this year. The mystery revolves around telescopes, peep shows, and the blurred boundary between reality and dreams. No animation studio was specified, but this film will premiere on July 20th. Penguin Highway. The novel centers around a 4th grader Aoyama-kun, investigating the mysterious reason behind the sudden appearance of penguins in his village, which is somehow related to a power from a lady working at a dental clinic. Animated by Studio Colorido, this premieres on August 17th. Drivehead movie, Tomika Hyper Rescue Kiro QQ Keisatsu. In the future, to respond to disasters beyond human comprehension, the Mobile Emergency Police Hyper Rescue developed driveheads that are specialized with police, firefighting, and rescue capabilities. Driveheads are special vehicles that change from car forms to humanoid walker vehicles. Animated by Oriental Light and Magic, this premieres on August 24th. Shisana Eiyu Kani to Tamago to Tome Ningen. This short film will consist of 3 shorts by 3 different directors. The shorts are entitled Kanini and Kanino, Life Ain't Gonna Lose, and Invisible. Studio Ponok, the studio animating this film, describes the shorts as tales of modest heroes of our times. This film premieres on August 24th. Shikiori or Flavor of Youth is an anthology film consisting of 3 shorts like the previous movie. Hidemari no Choshoku or A Sunny Breakfast, Shisana Fashion Show or A Small Fashion Show, and Shanghai Court or Shanghai Love. All 3 will be set in 3 different Chinese cities. The theme of the 3 stories are food, clothing, and shelter. This film will be animated by Comics Wave Films. You may know them as the same studio that animated Kimi no Na wa or Your Name. This will premiere on August 4th. In addition, the world premiere will be held 1 month earlier at Anime Expo 2018 on July 6th. Non-Non Biyori Vacation is a new film adaptation of the Non-Non Biyori anime series. The film will tell the story of the Okinawa trip arc from the original manga. Animated by Silverlink, this film premieres on August 25th. Nanatsu no Tazai movie, Tenku no Torawarabito. Some time has passed since the 7 deadly sins and Princess Elizabeth brought peace to the kingdom. To celebrate the king's birthday, the 7 deadly sins travel to a remote land in search of the phantom ingredient skyfish. Meliodas and Hawk end up at a sky palace that exists above the clouds, where all the residents have wings. Meliodas is mistaken for one of these residents who committed a crime and is thrown in prison. Meanwhile, the residents are preparing a ceremony for defense against a ferocious beast that awakens once every 3,000 years. But the 6 Knights of Black, a demon clan army, arrives and removes the seal on the beast in order to threaten the lives of the residents of Sky Palace. Meliodas and allies meet the 6 Knights of Black in battle. Animated by A1 Pictures, this film premieres on August 18th.
Gekijou 7つの大罪天空の囚われ人
And finally, for the movies, Boku no Hero Academia the movie, Futari no Hero, or you may know it as My Hero Academia the movie, The 2 Heroes. The climactic finals are over and Yue is getting ready for the summer training camp. Deku and All Might receive an invitation from a certain person to go overseas to a giant artificial moving city called I-Island. This island is a kind of science Hollywood that gathers the knowledge of scientists from around the world. It is holding an exhibition called I-Expo, showcasing the results of quirk and hero item research. In the midst of it all, Deku meets a quirkless girl named Melissa and remembers his own quirkless past. All of a sudden, the security system of the island is hacked by villains, and all of the people on the island are taken as hostages. The movie will delve into the backstory of an unknown character, in addition to featuring the characters of Class 1A. Animated by Bones, this premieres on August 3rd in Japan. But there will be a special world premiere at Anime Expo 2018 on July 6th. This concludes all the anime that will be released for this summer. What are your thoughts for this season's release, and which anime are you looking forward to the most? Feel free to leave a comment below. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe for more upcoming seasonal videos, as well as other anime related videos. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
Boku no Hero Academia The Movie, Futari no Hero.